Capital Community Television, in cooperation with the United States Australian Football League, presents the 2016 USAFL Western Regional Tournament from Salem, Oregon. Today, we feature this game between the Los Angeles Dragons and the Denver Bulldogs. Hello again, everyone. I'm Brian Barish alongside Anthony Lally. We're here again for the third of 9 games that we'll be covering today in the USAFL Western Regional Tournament. Some of the best teams of Australian rules football in the USA are here. And Anthony, we've got two of the best here in the 5th-seeded Los Angeles Dragons and the 4th-seeded Denver Bulldogs.
Yeah, I've been really looking forward to this game. We've talked about the seedings coming in. I mean, this Western group in Division 1, the groupings are OC ranked 3, Denver 4, LA 5, Golden Gate 6. Mm-hmm. So we actually have a really good cluster of some of the top teams in the country. But, of course, they can be a bit deceiving.
Yes.
Because LA have done really, really well so far this season. And down in the Southern California Metro and taking on their derby counterparts, the OC Bombers, we've seen some pretty outstanding results from them.
They had a big win last week. They won, I think, by something like 86 points against the OC Bombers team, who we'll see a little bit later on. As for Denver, this is a team that is very familiar to winning. They have won 8 Division I national championships, 8 in 11 years in point of fact. They were the dominant team of the first decade of the USAFL Nationals. They've had some lean years in terms of that quality, as they haven't made it to a Division I Grand Final since then, but they're a very strong team, half American, half Australian. They have got good players, veteran players, including some new guys as well.
Yeah, look, I'm excited to see them play. I haven't seen them play in the flesh before either, so a little bit of a lean year from a championship point of view, but don't write this team off. This is a pretty well-drilled team, and we're going to see them be well-drilled in the air. We're going to see LA just try and run rings around them.
The Dragons are wearing the gray jumpers with the orange and aqua and white. That's a lot of colors for a jumper, but
it's pretty LA.
It is pretty LA. The Denver Bulldogs in their traditional red, white, and blue, those are brand new jumpers that they're wearing, and they are some nice jumpers as well. Adam Wolfsis, number 12, will be in the ruck for the Bulldogs. I'm trying to catch the number. It's 92 for the Dragons, who I do not have here. We'll try and get his name a little bit later on for you. The Bulldogs have played at the Central Regionals. They made the trip to Indianapolis. They went 1-1-1 in Division I in that tournament. And finished in second. As the umpire is all in readiness. In case you're just coming on board with us here, a game of Australian football, 18 aside on this big oval. The object is to kick it between the 2 big sticks. On either end of the field, there's 4 posts. If you kick it between the 2 big ones, that's a goal worth 6 points. A behind, which is a ball kick between one of the big ones and one of the little ones, is worth 1 point.
So already they're running the rings, the LA Dragons. You saw Dollar there just pump the ball off.
Yeah, he's very quick in the midfield. Nice job. There's Justin Hall. Hall's going to run in and kick the ball, oblivious to the thundering herd behind him, but it's gone off to the side, and that is a behind. So first point of the game after about a minute, although hang on. So it looks like the point's been given, but we have an injury behind the player right off the bat. Is coming off gingerly as number 9 for Denver. That's Brent Dowling, one of the veterans. Let's take a look at it again. Oh boy, yeah, he got that. The human body was not made to bend in that direction. So 1-0 the score at the end of that, off the foot of Justin Hall, and as they go out to the near side looking for Ian Blandthorne, but it's picked up again by Mark O'Reilly for Los Angeles, and then sticking with it. And O'Reilly is in there again, and now everyone goes down mushroom farming, and they'll tie it up. So, Anthony, just explain really quickly what you can do when you have the ball in Aussie Rules football.
Yeah, so we hear the term disposals a lot, Brian, and so when we talk about disposals, we're talking about the opportunities to kick the ball away. We're talking about the opportunity to handball. We just saw one there, 51 from LA. That's
and a shot
Drummond.
For goal. Oh, now it's tipped over the line.
Drummond got one away quickly just before that strike from Deskin.
That would be actually Justin Kenna.
Sorry, Kenna.
Sorry, I
19.
pointed a little higher, but no, it's Justin Kenna. So that's a behind.
And so we can't pass the ball away like we can in rugby. We can bat the ball down, but really we want to run, kick, or dispose the ball to a teammate in a better position to get down to get the ball between those sticks.
So now if the ball has the ball, in order for it to be a 6-point goal, it's got to go directly from an offensive player's foot over the line. It can't touch anything else. And a great job by Alex Mayberry to come back. You are allowed to intentionally hit the ball over the line to just concede 1 point. So
was that a behind?
That was a behind. So it is 2-0 is the score. It is 2-0 in favor of the Dragons. As the Bulldogs, not as the Dragons, have had most of the territorial advantage here in the opening minutes.
But so quick from the bounce, you know.
Yeah.
I say the bounce, but you know.
It's from the get-go.
Sure,
That's it. Yeah, in the AFL and most in Australia where they have harder grounds, the ball is bounced on the ground. It's thrown up in the air whenever the ball is in dispute and the ball gets tied up to start play again. So there it is on that far wing is Denver trying to push it forward, and then everyone goes in pushing and shoving. LA is able to get to it, long kick, and it's a nice mark. Oh, shakes a little bake, and then the long kick inside 50, up over top, but a good job by number 8, which is Joe Wall, and he pretends he's the Wall, and the LA Dragons like to say they're the White Walkers and try to get over the wall. There's a snap for goal, but it's off to the side, but in fact has missed everything and has gone out on the full. So when the ball goes out on the fly like that, as we say, out on the full, then the other team gets to kick it back in on a free kick,
but
and that's what's going to happen with Denver.
Yeah, the first 3 minutes we've seen three snaps at goal. I mean, 2 behinds, and we just got out of bounds there. So, I mean, they get it upfield quickly, these guys.
The pressure is there. It's just a matter of what they can do. Robertson! Casey Robertson, a high flyer extraordinaire. And I'll tell you what, if you get a chance on our YouTube channel, check out some of his play from last year as he finds the connection. And Peter Taylor, good young American defender, is playing up on the wing. He is a high flyer as Robertson and kicks some highlight reel goals and more high-flying action, but Wolfs couldn't get to it. L.A. controls it up on that far side. They soccer it along. Harkness is in there for Denver. He gets knocked to the ground. Picking it up again is Mitcho McGraw. And then that one is put forward and will rumble out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw-in. Casey Robertson is my favorite player to watch in the entire USAFL, just simply because he has that ability to really fly. I mean, he's an Aussie.
Mate, that was as good as it gets, that mark. And then it was great to see Peter Taylor doing what he does best there on the outside boundary line.
Yep. Peter Taylor, whose wife, Sarah, plays for the women's team. Denver's women's team is not here this weekend, unfortunately. They are the 6-time defending national champions. One of their players is getting married this weekend, so everyone's involved in that, which is good to see. It is a family, this Aussie rules. Ball comes spinning back in the play, knocked down by 92, again unlisted. I'm trying to figure out if he's one of the other national team players that might be in town for this. So we talk about the national team, the USA Revolution. We have the International Cup in Melbourne coming up next year, and the selectors will have their eye on that. Oh, big tackle by 14 had the ball for Denver. That was Scott Casares.
And he got nailed by Baggett.
He got nailed by Baggett, who is...
or Bagot.
Bagot. En français, s'il vous plaît. Up that far, I think it's Baggett. Up on that far side, it's marked, and then they handball it up over the top looking for Dollar.
Dollar dropped a penny.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't a dime, and now it's rumbled up on that far side. Chasing in after it again is 15 in there. I believe that's Newquist. And the ball goes out of bounds. We have 2 14s on our score sheet with Scott Casares and Jason Newquist. As the ball goes in short.
At least they're not twins.
That's true. And the ball goes up, and a nice almost mark there by Gabriel Martin del Campo. And then it's going in short, going in deep, and it's marked defensively.
That Mayberry.
By Mayberry. And now he's saying that he came over the mark, but he didn't. A little extra afterwards, but no.
A little bit of gamesmanship didn't hurt.
Little one hop into Paul Meyer. Meyer will go up on that far side as Denver trying to respond, but right back at them they come. Short almost marked there by Kenna again. And then being thrown off the ball is James Drummond, and we'll have a ball up. 2-0 the score. Los Angeles leading Denver. Brian Barish alongside Anthony Lally here at the Capital FC. I had to think about that for a second.
Cascade, Capital, Timbers. It's all
the same here. Hey, it's all Soccer City up here. As the ball goes to ground, paddled forward by Denver momentarily, and then a rugby maul situation. The umpire crosses his arms, and we'll have a ball up.
So the Bulldogs have held on the early onslaught, and if they string together a few more marks,
and they have the players that can do that.
Yes.
Ball goes to ground, cleared out of there by Blandthorne and his cousin, not Blandthorne, Exciting Thorne. Oh, thrown to the ground was Del Campo, thrown to the ground there by Jared Thompson.
He's earned the kick.
And he gets it away. Or he'll go back. It'll be a free kick for Thompson. Long kick. Straight into the middle. Juggled and caught again there by Christopher Baggett. Baggett up that far side finds a connection. The ball is marked. So the mark, if the ball is kicked and is caught cleanly after traveling 15 meters or more, it's a mark and a free kick. That's juggled. They paid that.
Yes.
To Robertson. And we're just talking about that. I don't think he was the first person to touch it. You have to be the only person to touch it. But, hey, it looked pretty impressive.
Yeah, clear and only.
Yeah. Up on that far side as he finds a connection, another mark. Denver, as we mentioned for a time, was a very dominant force. They're still a very good football club. As we mentioned, the fourth best team in the USAFL rankings. July 27th, which is about a week, actually 10 days from
Monday.
Yeah, from Monday is when the next ranking will come out. The USAFL ranking is almost like the college football rankings, where there's 9 panelists and they choose their top 20 teams. And
a lot of interest on this week too.
Yes.
Around the country, even outside region.
Yeah.
So.
Especially the number 1 team in the country is the Austin Crows, and they're having a very good season. They're doing their summer break, if you will, with their local metro competition. As the ball goes inside, LA had it, and then again Thompson able to hold up his man in Osterholm, and then a long kick, and then it's picked up, and here they are on the fly. Robertson onto the left foot. Robertson kicks for goal.
Comes around.
It is there. Great goal by Casey Robertson, and the Bulldogs are in front. I told you how dangerous he was, and you cannot give him that much room. Denver up by 4 points. 1 straight 6 to the Bulldogs. 2 behinds, 2 points only for the Dragons.
I'm not going to say I told you so on the I told you so's, but that was great. Here's a replay.
Yeah, and there he is breaking free. He has the speed to get around, and then the things that he does with a football, my goodness gracious
Left
me.
footer, full speed, snapped back across his right shoulder. So
that is our early contender for goal of the day. This ball comes back in the middle. It's 6-2, and the Bulldogs are in front. Well, we talked about their class, and I'll tell you what, if the LA Dragons, who have really fancied themselves as one of the best teams and definitely a challenger for the national championship, they're going to have to figure out a way to contain stuff like that. And Denver will come up again as the ball will one-hop in looking for Andre Janssen. And the ball is up on that far side and then picked up and then taken down. And it's going to be a free kick. So, yeah, it looks like he had possession and then was dispossessed. So, free kick there again to Blandthorne for Denver. 6-2 to score. The Bulldogs and the Blue Jumpers in the lead. Ball goes to ground, picked up by Chris D'Agostino. And it's marked. Dragons moving forward. That one is deflected, so it'll be a free ball and just kept in play nicely there by the number 3. That's Paul Meyer for Denver.
But Grigg from the Dragons punted that one out.
Yeah. It looked like I thought it had gotten deflected initially, but it may not have been. Yeah. So yeah, if the ball is coming up, the player has the ball on a mark. The ball, there's a defender. He's on where the spot of the free kick is. And then he can
bag it down to the side.
Yeah, bag it as the play goes on. If a player on the mark, he can actually stand there. He can't come over the mark, but he can put his hand up and deflect the ball. And what you actually saw on that kick here was just some good defense of them deflecting the ball out of bounds, and that, of course, forces a throw-in.
So
LA
we're seeing the ring running by the Dragons. And
picked up off it's smothered.
Well smothered. So Hall had a go there, 47 from the Dragons, but just who hunted that down?
I catch it. Might have been here it is again.
So Hall has a go. What jersey is that?
I don't know. Well, whoever you are, sir,
great
that was a
down.
it was a great charge down, and great job by our cameraman behind the goal
there.
There's Hall.
He just made amends.
Justin Hall.
Whoa. Great snap. You talk about, we saw Casey Robertson at the other end, full pace one way. We just saw Hall do that, just facing the complete opposite direction to the goal.
7 days ago, Justin Hall kicked 5 goals in that game against Orange County, and here he is across the body. Oh, great job, and he knew it right off the foot that was in. Justin Hall from formerly of the Manly Warringah Giants, not terribly far from your neighborhood, Anthony.
Yeah, go North Stain Surf Club.
Go North, yep. And and he came over. What's interesting is he had played for them, but he actually came over in 2014 with the rest of the Giants to take part in what was an absolutely fantastic program at Nationals in Mason, Ohio, to do some.
Here we go again.
Some seminars and whatnot. And here are the Dragons again. They're looking for him again. Almost couldn't take it, and then the ball runs out of bounds.
So we missed that break there, but with that whole screamer there, we've got the Dragons ahead now. 1-2, 8 to 1-6.
Yep.
So 8-6 to the Dragons.
Brian Cummins in on that play. As the ball comes spinning back in the play, Cummins again, it just sort of bounces off his hands, and we'll do the whole shebang again.
Yeah, a little bit of ruckus in the crowd here.
Yep. That goal, just going back to it really quickly, as McGraw was able to get it out of there and then boomed out. That was almost a Stevie J goal for those of you who are familiar.
They fly high. It comes down. Crumbs for the picking. 18 from LA. That's Descant. All right, over to Baggett again. He's been busy over on the left flank.
It's his name and it's his hairstyle. A little baggy. Oh, well, or is he going to let the play on? Yes, he will. Advantage was paid.
Wow. So we might want to go through that as well for some of the viewers on advantage paid.
Paul Locum kicks the goal, and that extends the Dragons' lead. So that takes them on to 2-14. So as we take a look at it again, Locum will pick it up. And then he was caught low. And in Aussie rules football, it's very similar to soccer, is that if the play is called and the umpire determines that the offensive team has advantage, they'll let it go.
Yeah, and I tell you what, there was a great shepherd there, made that line for him. Had a straight run at goal. I missed the number, but smart play.
So that extends the lead to 14-6. This is a great game so far, nice and back and forth. It's just a matter of whether or not Denver can do it, as Martin Del Campo is in there and he gets Mitch McGraw.
So we're just a few minutes out from halftime now. Tied bodies.
Yeah,
first game of the morning for both of these teams.
And both of these teams will play 2 more games. I'll tell you what, it's nice and cool. As Baggett tries to go backwards looking for Tom Grigg. Grigg is taken down. And then, that's a good tackle. Are they going to call it back? No, they're going to call it back. So that's not going to be advantage. So sometimes they call it, sometimes they don't. In this case, there was no advantage available initially, so they're going to call this one all the way back. It's going to be a free kick and a good tackle in there.
Yeah, and you mentioned before the weather. It's perfect for footy. It's about 68 degrees. It's going to, or 19 degrees C. It's going to burn off cloud in the afternoon. Probably hit 25, 26, which is 75 plus. So.
Which is good. I'll take that. As they look for Baggett on the far side. As we mentioned previously, this is the 3rd regional tournament. The first one that we did was about a month ago in Indianapolis. Was 95, and it was not a good day to be playing 3 footy games. Here comes LA again, one-on-one contest. Contact there, the ball comes to the ground, but Denver has it. Not a clean handball. Back and forth they go, and then picked up there by Harry Dixon. for LA. Dixon tries to get it through. Hall is there with some help. Dixon, Hall, somebody. And then Meyer will go in to claim Hall, but not before he gets it forward. Handball out into the middle. McGraw is there. McGraw will clear the danger out to the near side. Almost going up to taking it was Max Eckstein. Eckstein couldn't get it. It goes to ground, and then finally it's Kenna. And Kenna will play that one back in towards the goal. The pack forms. It's batted around, almost like volleyball. Sort of, kind of, and then it goes to ground, picked up there by Joe Wall. Wall just gets it away, but he is hauled down.
Dragged down.
And
like
that is a good
doll.
tackle.
So the Denver boys have come from, it's 5280 feet, I think Denver is, the Mile High City, and that is almost as high as the highest peak on mainland Australia, Mount Kosciuszko. So these guys should have some pretty good fitness. We're only about 120 feet above sea level here in the Willamette Valley.
Yep. So here is the Dragons. The kick is up on the way, and Darren Olson has kicked another goal. Goal to the Dragons. They extend their lead to 14 points. That takes them on to 3-2-20. And the Bulldogs still on one straight 6. And a great job of, you know what? And this is one of those where you have to take advantage of the situation.
Yes.
Olson, not much in the terms of angle or distance, and he does what a good player does and splits the sticks. If you want to check out more action from the USAFL, if you like what you see here and want to take a look what's going on, or if you want to find a team in your area, if you're here in the U.S. Outside of Salem and want to check out, perhaps want to play or even watch, you can follow us on our website, USAFL.com. If you're on social media not catching Pokemon, you can check us out on Facebook.com/USAFL and on Twitter at USAFL1997. Up on that far side, meanwhile, Denver trying to stay in the game. Long kick, one-on-one contest. Robertson was always going to win that, and Ho-Hum, he takes a nice mark. And
he's always at the top of his range with his reach. He just seems to get those mitts higher.
And I'll tell you what, he's going to fancy himself here. I've seen him kick a goal from this distance, from this angle at Nationals last year. So Casey Robertson.
Nice lineup. Get the pendulum swinging.
The kick is on the way. It looks good. Of course. Dead center, perfect.
And we're getting our 2 flags up.
And a goal to the Denver Bulldogs, Casey Robertson.
That's his second.
His second of the game, and that's the Bulldogs' second. That cuts it down to 8. Denver, 2 straight 12. LA, 8 points in front, 3-2-20. And once again, Robertson, if you give the man enough room, and he's always going to make this goal from that angle. So I've been actually impressed with Denver, and this is sort of how they are.
Yep.
They're very, they're not going to back down, but they like when they're very good when you give them room, especially Robertson, as we mentioned. They're going to burn you most of the time.
Yeah, and they're playing down the flanks well. It's really both teams playing to their strengths, isn't it, when they do get possession?
Exactly. Martin Del Campo was in there against Thompson for Denver, and now it's Taylor, and it's punch forward, and the siren's going to end all of that. So the first 20 minutes are in the books of a very entertaining game so far between the number 5 team in the country, the LA Dragons, and the number 4 team in the country, the Denver Bulldogs. Your score, it's the LA Dragons 3-2-20, the Denver Bulldogs 2 straight 12. First half thoughts from Anthony Lowey.
Yeah, look, LA just started running rings from the beginning, and we've seen good momentum in the game. We've also seen great competition. Both teams haven't backed down. Really good pack assaults on aerial balls.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Robertson's been a standout. Justin Hall's been great for the Dragons. And these are some of the names we expected to see, but gee, there's such good team cohesive play out there. There's a lot of interplay, a lot of good disposals onto guys around the flanks for the Bulldogs and in the midfield for the Dragons. So we're going to see those two styles play out. I do expect Denver, like I said, to hold stronger fitness through the day. Let's see how the travel has affected the Dragons. Denver flew a bit further, of course, but a very fit, strong team, have played the Central Regional Tournament, have some tournament play under their belt. So I'm very excited to see how the game closes out. I think it's going to be a really close finish.
One thing that the Bulldogs don't have to deal with now, that they did have to deal with Indianapolis besides the heat, is the wind. There was a really stiff wind that really dictated the games there.
Yep.
Not apparent on a beautiful day here in Salem. Our score at halftime, once again, it's the LA Dragons 20, the Denver Bulldogs 12. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. If you're interested in Australian football as is played in the United States, check out our video and see what the USAFL is all about. We'll be right back to this one here in Salem on CCTV.
Support for tonight's program was provided by MAPS Credit Union, premier sponsor of Salem-Kaiser Schools. Visit one of our convenient locations in the Willamette Valley or our website, mapscu.com. And by Les Schwab Tire Centers, doing the right thing since 1952. Experience the Les Schwab difference at your neighborhood Les Schwab Tire Center or visit us on the web at leschwab.com.
Great competition and a feeder competition there to the AFL.
You're the truest form of an athlete playing footy. You got to cover long distances, you got to be able to have endurance, be quick, athletic, sprint, be strong, and have skill at the same time. And I think that if you fancy yourself an athlete, this is a sport.
Everyone plays offense and defense, and everyone is a skilled player. You need to have reasonable endurance, reasonable speed, reasonable strength. There's no restrictions on how tall you need to be. Some guys can be, high 6 feet. Some people are in there 5'5", so it doesn't discriminate against anyone. Anyone can play. The thing that Americans would find particularly exciting about it is the fact that it's so fast-paced. The game's continuous. It doesn't stop. The game just continues to keep rolling.
Future of the game, I think that we need to get into more colleges. You look at a team like Minnesota and what they're able to do with college scholarships. Kids going over to Australia for a semester and then come back and they're helping with Minnesota's team. I think that's where our real development's going to come in, and I think we need to really foster the college game.
It's a sport that's really growing, not only in Australia but all around the world. And there's been a few signings of young American college players in the last few years that have made the transition to our sport and done really well.
So a wide range of ages and fitness levels, and it's really a sport for anybody.
So I looked up Aussie rules on YouTube and I thought it was really cool, and that's how I found out about it.
It brings together certain elements from all different sports. Sometimes you might not be the top 1% of a particular sport, but you can use what you know about that sport, and it all is applied very well in Aussie rules football.
Just check out if there's a club in your local area, and from my own experience, both Aussies and Americans in the club are really welcoming, and they took good care of me, so they'll definitely look out for you, and it's a good time.
And we're back here at the Capital FC Soccer Complex in Salem, Oregon. Halftime of our game between the LA Dragons and the Denver Bulldogs. La La Land up by 8 points, 20-12. And Anthony, the story of the first half so far has been some key performances and some key plays by some key people.
No, absolutely. I think we've got a couple of replays to go through here too. Here's the first one. So 23 from Denver, Camping. Nice pass out ahead of Robertson. And then we saw that goal early. And I think you said at the time, Brian, that was an early candidate for goal of the day. And then, we thought that was a great goal. How about this one?
Justin Hall across the body. Across the face, over the left. And then we have this this third goal. This was a great one. Just really watch number 60 here. That's Shepherd from, there we go. Great check. By Darren Olsen. Great shepherd there to clear the path for his teammate, just to have a clear line at goal. So, these two teams, we talked about, nationally ranked, both very strong teams. Whoever wins this game will go a long way to winning the regional tournament. But we're really seeing that cohesive team interplay, and these guys are really putting together a good brand of footy. Both teams, both sides of the ball. Just to recap, we have, of course, all these games that we're bringing to you here on CCTV. This is the men's Division 1. 4 teams here. We have the LA Dragons, as we mentioned, in the USAFL ranking. They are the number 5 team. Denver is ranked number 4. 2 teams who we'll see later on are the Golden Gate Roos, who are the 6th best team, and the Orange County Bombers, who are currently ranked number 3. They were the runners-up in Division 1 last year. We'll get into them a little bit later on, but obviously there's a lot of lot riding on these games. So what's going to happen is that each of these teams is going to play in a round robin. Each of these teams is going to play 3 games here today. The team with the best record wins. If it's wins the title, and if it's tied, then it comes down to head-to-head, and then if it's still tied, it goes down to points percentage.
Yeah, and given the rankings coming in and the performances, I mean, it'll be a red-hot team if someone's to go 3-0.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would be shocked, but, whoever kicks off this game well probably has a pretty good shot.
We mentioned in the first half, and we were talking about the rankings, the Austin Crows, who are, I believe, 10-0 so far, including a 3-0 performance at the Central Regionals in Indianapolis. Yes. The New York Magpies also went undefeated in their Eastern Regional a couple of weeks ago at home in Yonkers, New York. And a lot of people just like hearing me say Yonkers, but
it's the weirdest name place in the Northeast.
It's basically,
but there's some specials in Pennsylvania too.
Yeah, like Conshohocken and all that, Manayonkin. There's a few, but really, yeah, this is what'll be interesting. I think you'll see a lot of shuffling. I think no matter what happens, as our panelists watch these games with some intent, as the players taking their place out on the field.
Yeah, and the umpires moving to the center.
Once again, Brian Barish alongside Anthony Lally. Glad to have you along with us wherever you may be across the country, around the world, or even here in Salem. I'd like to thank the city of Salem for hosting us. It's great to have the tournament here. Anthony, you're a resident of this. I know it's got to be exciting to see footy.
Yeah, definitely. And Travel Salem, which is the visitation bureau, the tourism bureau in town, has been involved working with USAFL to get this underway. So everyone's excited.
Speaking of underway, the second half is underway, and LA wins the opening ruck, and they handball that back over to Chris D'Agostino, and he kicks that one up on the far side where it's taken on one hop by Paul Locum, who I believe he had one of those 3 goals, and now back comes Denver up on that far side, off the hands of one of the players over there, and then kicked off the ground, which is legal, and then going over to get it is 18, who is Robbie Deskant, and the ball goes out of bounds.
And Robertson, appealing for play off the ball there, but here we go, it's out of bounds.
So the ball will come spinning back into play as Wolfsis comes through, and he goes woof, and the ball goes bark, and goes out of bounds.
Yeah, left that one in the bowl.
Yep. And let's see if any of the teammates can throw them a bone here. All right, we're done with the dog puns.
Yeah. So, and just while we have a brief break in play, and our microphones may not pick it up, but there is a lot of chat out there, and you'll notice the better teams that do train together regularly, communication's very key in this game. The distances are really far. Great mark,
Gary
number 17.
Green. That's a footy name if ever there was one, but he is harassed and taken down, but it goes right to a teammate in Mark O'Reilly. O'Reilly gets the ball on, and now the ball goes in towards the pocket, off the hand of Dixon, but then it comes to 60 again, who is Olsen, who had the goal earlier in that nice shepherd.
Great gang tackle.
He is taken to the ground. It'll be a free kick to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, they were on him big time.
Jeff Posey. He and his brother Brian out here playing. Brian's number 13. Good group of guys, as most of the players here. There is Harkness, who is tied up. It can't claim it cleanly, and here again, did he get around him? Yeah, and then he's taken down as Del Campo, and it's a great tackle, a good job in there by Peter Taylor. We've mentioned him a couple of times. He is on the national team and one of their better defensive players. Up on that far side now, mark is taken. They're looking for a lead inside 50, that 50-meter arc, which really is there just to show where it is.
Yeah, just a good judge of distance. There's no formal requirement for it.
Yeah. Although in preseason games in Australia, that is almost literally a three-point line. But as the ball goes to ground, it's picked up. LA trying to get rid of it with the handball. There was Andre Jansen. Handballs it on, and it's going to come right back at them. McGraw in tight, and it's marked.
Very tight angle. Guess who it is?
Yep, Casey Robertson.
So he's pretty acute here, so let's see how he goes. We might see a banana kick here. I mean, he's a very skillful player.
He is very acute. The ladies love him. Anyway, here it is. So I wouldn't doubt him here. I would probably back him to kick the goal. So here is Robertson for his third of the game. It's on the way.
Has he thread it?
Yes,
has he thread the needle?
He
yes,
has.
Our goal umpire's given it the. Here we go. Yep.
Goal to the Bulldogs, and they are back to within 2 points. Denver 3 straight goals for a total of 18 points. LA 3-2-20. The ball comes back in the center, and once again, from an odd angle, he has kicked 3 impressive goals. He has all 3 of their goals so far.
But, you don't get those opportunities for your best players without the lead-up. So just a slow-mo replay here.
This is the grab. And it's just him following the flight of the ball.
Great pluck. Just got a good line in behind the defense.
As we have our eyes back on live action here, we have a free kick, which will be paid to Peter Taylor. Taylor will look out to the right side. Long kick, up in the air, almost got it. Crash, boom, opera. Robertson again, throws it onto the left. Helicopter ball deep, but this time he gets a room-friendly bounce that goes through for a behind.
Definitely an off break, an off spinner there.
Definitely off straight, and it's gone behind for no run. That was my Henry Blofeld.
Right.
As it's back to a 1-point game, it's 20-19.
So punched out to Kenner. He's looking for a line.
See if he can go deep. Let's see. Comes out to the near side, almost taken by Harkness, who will go after it and just pick it up, but his momentum carries it over and out. 20-19. Denver in the blue jumpers have cut this down to 1 after trailing 20-12 at halftime. As the ball comes spinning back into play, Wolfsis just got a knuckle to it, but picked up by O'Reilly for LA. He finds Baggett into the middle, who again, he finds Gary Green. Green will go as they're starting to queue up on the far side. It sits for Martin Del Campo. He goes right, he goes left, he gets it off to the right side, but right at Blandthorn for Denver. And he's going to turn it around, and let's see what they can do on the break. He finds Harkness on the near side, puts that one up out of the reach of Newquist, and then he is taken down by Green. The ball is still loose, and then after it is at 18 for Denver, he's thrown to the ground, and he is wrapped up for Christmas. The umpire crosses his arms like the Monsignor from the first synagogue of footy, and we'll have a ball up.
Yeah, so Posey and Mabry got on him like glue there. There's Posey.
Like butter. No, it was like
Dollar.
Here's David Dollar, who is very frisky in the midfield, and then soccered on. That's going to be kicking in danger. Or is it? Yes, it is. So, and the ball's on the ground, and there's the object is you want to come and pick the ball up. If you try and soccer the ball like that, and somebody's reaching for it, they're going to call that. It's called kicking in danger,
and that's a player safety.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
Here's Justin Kenna going in deep, but Harkness.
I tell you what, Harkness has come into the game the last few minutes, and he was a bit unsung in the first half. He did a lot of work off the ball.
He and Robertson and Camping all took 3 really nice marks in not only at Nationals, but also in also at the Central Regionals that they played at last year.
Yeah, so Brian, we talked about Denver working the flanks, playing the aerial game. Was that Robertson again up high?
Yeah,
he's appealing for a push in the back here.
Yeah, it was, and he's not going to get it. In fact, it's going to be, or is he? No, he is going to get it.
He is, and that's a good call by the ump.
And in fact, it wasn't to Robertson, but they go out to the near side as Kirk found Blandthorn. So Blandthorn's going to go back, probably 2 kicks from goal. He's going to go that one in short, almost marked. Ball goes to ground as Robertson was looming, and then it goes to ground, spinning out on that far side. Again, going after it is 18, who is Robbie Deskant, and the ball has gone over and out of bounds for a bounce.
Yeah, we're really seeing that shape and style from Denver coming into play now. Mm-hmm. And the Dragons are still trying to run rings when they do get the ball, but Denver's really controlling possession, looking for space, putting that ball up, competing well.
A lot of veterans on this team, as we mentioned. We mentioned Harkness, we mentioned Robertson, and it's fairly rare in the USAFL setting that you see a lot of that experience, and it's also very very valuable, I guess, for that reason.
Well,
Robertson
rubs on the teammates too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it is a little bit of a scrap here, but I think the ump's over there. We'll sort it out.
We'll
a bit of pushing and shoving.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and Jessica Wuchner, who is played for the Western Bulldogs, probably also going to get drafted in the AFL, came over last year as part of the Australian Player Exchange to play for the Boston Lady Demons. And the Lady Demons, based in the East Coast, of course, they're they're still in a rebuilding phase, but they played 3 months at the end of last season and really rubbed off. So that goes to what you were saying. When you have that sort of caliber, when you have that sort of experience, everyone generally plays up around you.
You know, we even saw that in the Portland game where they were, they were outplayed, but they were gritty, and those senior players just kept the boys going.
Yep. Free kick here to the Bulldogs, to Paul Meyer up on that far sideline. He's going to kick that one in towards the almost marked, trapped on the ground, but a good job there by D'Agostino to get it out. Here's Baggett. Kicks it with his left foot, which is his right foot. It spun free. Meyer had it. It was deflected, so no mark. Play on. And then Ryan Ludostonsky for L.A., and then we have a little bit of pushing and shoving in there, and the umpire says we're going to call this for a ball up.
Yeah, Brian, I tell you what, it's a good thing we're sitting down. I'm exhausted watching these blokes. This is a really high-tempo game.
I played 7 seasons for the Philadelphia Hawks, and I'll tell you what, I do miss playing, but I'm glad I'm not out there. I can't run too much.
It is a runner's game.
It is a runner's game, and I'm not a runner. My mom says I run like a pregnant giraffe. Here is a...
But you do still see in footy a broad range of body shapes.
Oh, yes.
And, because everyone does have a role and can contribute to the game plan in different parts of the field.
And that's one thing that we tell people is Kenna gets a free kick for LA and he goes in short, is that this game, it doesn't matter what body type, it doesn't matter what you are, as Kenna has a couple of bounces, 3 bounces. How about a 4th bounce, Justin? No, he cuts to the inside, but there was a whistle. Did he go out?
We're just waiting for some clarity on the ump call here.
We're just waiting for clarity, period. Yeah, it's going to be, it's going to be a free kick.
Did he call him up for not grounding the ball?
I don't know. He grounded the ball 3 times in a row, and it's got to be about every 15 meters. He didn't run too far. But in any event, it's going to be a free kick for Denver, which goes into the middle of the ground, and getting it away was 18, who I believe might be Casares.
So McGrath's looking for support.
Here we go, into the middle. Here's Casares again. Handball, or kicks that one in, short, over, and then nice job defensively by L.A. They'll kick that one out to the near side. Punched away from Del Campo there by John Clayton, who then takes his man down and then drags him a little bit, and then he gets flipped over like a pancake.
Yeah, so McGovern got slammed there too.
Bill McGovern, who is a pretty decent player. He's a USA Revo prospect. They go back in the air, and in the ruck was Camping, who's platooning in there for Wolfsis. And once again, we've got some pushing, some shoving. The ball is frozen. We'll have a ball up. Once again, the score, 20-19, LA leading Denver. Brian Barish alongside Anthony Lally, who's going to say something.
Yeah, Brian, so you've mentioned the Revo players. So there are national selectors here. A lot of these players are playing for, bit of visibility, and there will be a Revo's camp following the tournament tomorrow.
And also for the women, for the USA Freedom. They cleared out to the near side. Here is Blanthorne, who picks it up on a couple of hops. Blanthorne's kick towards goal. It's fading left, but it's marked defensively.
Well cleaned up.
Good job there
disposed quickly by
Jansen. Jansen with number 22 with the mark defensively, and then he got it on the Kenna, who got it away quickly, and now here they come up that far side.
History repeats. Here we go.
Here we go. 1 bounce for Kenna, and again it's stopped. What happened? I think it's going to come back again. I don't know. I mean, they were asking what the free kick is for either, and I'm not even sure.
Maybe overly scrutinous on the grounding.
Maybe. I mean, it's got to be. It's every 15 meters, so it's got to be every about 12 steps. I don't know about that one. I'm not sure. I don't know. Look, when you've got 2 fairly experienced footy watchers scratching their heads, and you got it, But in any event, they're going to keep going. Will LA? There's some nice candy, and the ball is kicked inside, looking for Del Campo.
Oh, well taken.
He took it. I'll tell you what, from the naked eye, it looked like it bounced, but it's paid, and he goes in the middle, and it's marked nicely by Paul Locum, who is very dangerous, and he'll have a chance to extend the lead and put a little bit of an arm brace on Denver.
Look, great vision and anticipation by Del Campo. Probably a good call, too, from Locum.
Yep.
He knew where his teammate was.
So Locum, who scored many goals in the Western Regionals last year, a little stutter step as he kicks it. I think he got under it a little bit. It's going to be short, and it's punched backwards and through for a rush behind. So It extends it back to a 2-point lead as LA goes to 3-3-21. Denver 3-1-19. And in case you're curious about that, you see that in the lower left-hand corner. The number of goals, those are the 6-pointers. The number of behinds, that's the 1-pointers. And then, of course, the score at the end. So 21-19.
So Denver running out of time here in the last minute or two.
Yeah. They're going to need to go 150 yards in about a minute. They're capable of doing that, but the way LA is playing, here's Baggett. He gets thrown to the ground. Dollar gets from a prone position. He just gets the ball away, and he gets it back to O'Reilly, or rather that's Grigg, and Grigg can't get to it up on the far side. Harkness, he sees the ball bounce around. Denver needs to go forward. Let's see if they can here. As they spin around, they throw it up. It's marked. He's got to go, does X time.
He's
got to move straight into the middle of the ground. Not the best decision, however, as Locum comes back to take a mark, and he kicks that one up on the near side. LA may have this in the bag as they look for Kenna, who can't take the mark. He goes to ground. He's spun around. He retains possession. He kicks that one in towards the corner. There was absolutely nobody there. Locum digging after it. He's going to pick it up, and he'll be perfectly okay with shepherding it out of bounds and probably running out the rest of the clock here.
Yeah, time and space for Denver is running out, and Locum, great job there, just rushing the ball over the boundary line.
Ball comes spinning back in the play. Let's see what they can do as it comes to ground. Shepherd it again. Here they go. One last roll of the dice, maybe. McGraw takes the mark. Here's McGraw calling for something. And now they're looking at the mark. They're going to play the one on. No, it's a 50. They were calling the defensive player, so on a mark, the defensive player cannot come over that point. That's what happened. So they're going to move up for 50.
Well,
there's still 2 kicks for goal.
Yeah. Ludostansky will be disappointed with himself there because he gave them a glimmer here.
So let's see if they get a mark. That would be huge. One-on-one contest. Pops free. It comes out in front. Oh, no. It spins away. Didn't get good to it. It pops back. Here is Newquist, but he kicks that one off to the side.
Out of bounds on the full.
Oh, my.
Ooh. That might have been Denver's opportunity.
That was it. It might have gone flying out the window. He'll go in short, and it's marked.
They'll just control possession here.
You can have up to about 7 seconds before you have to get rid of the ball, before you're fair game. Up on that far side, what can Denver do here? Almost marked. In there was Green again for LA. Here we go. Denver again rolling forward. Tick, 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 tick. And it's a free kick, and it'll be LA ball.
So LA 21, Denver 19, 2-point game.
And that might be the way it ends. I'll tell you what. As the Dragons up on that far side, through the hands, going over to get it is Dowling.
That's Bulldogs ball.
Here they come back the other way. Here is Repetto, who set up the tying goal against Dallas at the Centrals. They can't handle it. Over to get it is Taylor. He's thrown backwards, and down to the ground he goes, and it's a free kick to the Dragons. Denver with pushing it forward, but they are running out of time and chances. And LA doing a fantastic job on defense, and that's what championship teams do. As here we go. Here's the kick. Up on that far side, Harkness, and he punches it out of bounds. Not much time left, Anthony. Tell you what, this has been the most exciting game we've seen of the 3 we've done so far. Kept in by Green. Looking for Kenna. LA is perfectly okay with just milking the clock here.
Plenty of time between kicks here. Plenty of time. And the ball gets thrown in over the boundary line.
Here it comes. Wolfsis trying to get to it. Dollar couldn't get his man. Forward again by 18.
And that's over the boundary line.
And that's over the boundary line and out for another free kick. LA trying to see this one out. I'll tell you what, Denver's definitely had more of the attack chances.
They've definitely had the running in the second half, Brian.
And they'll be upset if they don't win this one. Nice mark by Green. And that was probably akin to Leo Barry's mark in the 2005 Grand Final for the Sydney Swans. Long kick up the side, knocked down by Newquist. It's still bouncing around McGraw. How much time do they have? Here's Newquist, straight down the dagger, bounces off a green. Taylor is there to punch it forward. Again, to get it is Dowling. He'll go backwards. Harkness into the middle. What can they do? Handballs it in, or kicks it in short. It's rolling. Baggett knocks his man away. Picked up again by Greg.
Marked by Denver.
Nice block. And it's marked nicely. Here they go. Long kick up the side. The pack forms. Goes to ground. There's a long kick. One-on-one contest. Knocked away. Great spoil there by Coletti Scorza.
Oh, you can see the desperation.
Here
of the
they
Bulldogs.
go.
They're really
Taylor.
working the handballs.
1-2.
Has he got
Taylor
a shot?
for the lead. Short. It's still in play. Looked like it was goalwards from here, and then he's taken down. There's got to be a call.
What's the ump calling here?
Is it a throw-in?
Should be a boundary
Yeah,
throw.
it's a boundary throw-in. That's very interesting. As 18 was taken down, Denver still pushing. It's kicked up and not out. It's kept in. They handball it back. Wolfsis, this is for the lead. But it's out of bounds. No, it's through for a behind. Back to a one-point game, 21-20. Can only be seconds to go.
Maybe we're off for time, Brian, but maybe the umps are.
Yeah.
Maybe the umps are enjoying the game as much as we are.
No, there it
There's
is.
the hooter.
Just as you say that, that is it. And the Denver Bulldogs have come awfully close. They rallied with everything they had, but the LA Dragons come up with their noses or beaks or snouts or whatever it is that Dragons have in front. The final score, the LA Dragons 3-3-21. The Denver Bulldogs 3-2-20. Anthony, that's the best game of footy I've seen in a long time.
Mate, great game of footy. I think it played out just as we anticipated. Two highly ranked teams playing to their strengths. That running rings around game that the Dragon rings, the fire rings.
There it is.
They ran them around. They kept the pressure on. Denver really had some good passages of play in the second half, strung together some good longer kicks with clean marks, got some good opportunities. They'll rue a few of those chances there late in the half where they just went a little wide, they had a behind, or they just had scrappy disposals. But, gee, the Dragons made them chase, didn't they? They started strong. So, well played to them, and that's really set up D1 nicely. The next D1 game we're going to see, the Dragons are going to back up. The Bombers and Roos played a game on field 2. And we're going to see the Dragons return here. They have a 2-game break.
And they'll see they'll play the Golden Gate Roos, and we'll obviously when we have that game, we'll let you know how they're done. That game's being played across the way from us. But as you said, I mean, I think both teams. You know, if you're Denver, and Denver was down 13 points at halftime. We go back 5 weeks ago to the Central Regionals against Dallas, and against the Wind, they were down 31-18. They tied the game with a minute left. They actually had the winning point on their boot, beaten by the Siren to gain a draw. And I think they're going to be really disappointed that they didn't take advantage of some of their chances here.
But a couple of blokes that stood out. I mean, I thought Del Campo had a great second half for the Dragons.
And he's a Revo candidate.
Yeah, kept things moving when they needed to move. O'Reilly had some good touches. Justin Hall, a little more quiet, but we saw a bit more midfield work and defensive work from the Dragons.
In the back line, too.
I mean, and I have to say, I really enjoy watching Harkness play. A little bit unsung, toiled really hard, contributed well in the second half for the Bulldogs.
So that'll do it for this one as the Dragons come out victorious by 1 point. Again, the LA Dragons 21, the Denver Bulldogs 20. We have more action for you on another broadcast. We hope you'll join us then. Until then, for Anthony Lally and everyone who's brought to you today's game from Salem, this is Brian Barish. We'll see you next time.
Support for tonight's program was provided by MAPS Credit Union, premier sponsor of Salem Kaiser Schools. Visit one of our convenient locations in the Willamette Valley or our website, mapscu.com. And by Les Schwab Tire Centers, doing the right thing since 1952. Experience the Les Schwab difference at your neighborhood Les Schwab Tire Center or visit us on the web at leschwab.com.